Hello, students. Good morning. Well, today we're going to have a new topic, which I consider is going to be so important for you. So I hope you like it. And well, let's start with this new topic, which is called giving instructions. Okay. Well, first of all, as you know, this video call conference is being recorded as always, and afterwards it will be sent to your institutional emails. Great. Let's going to start by sharing my screen. Okay, let's going to share my screen and let's going to start just by watching the first picture, the first image. Okay, tell me what you can see. What you can see in this picture. First of all, well, we've got here a teacher and also we've got students, of course, and it's a morning song. So today we're going to start this new conference video call or this meeting with a morning song. He is Dwayne Reed. He is a teacher, and well, I'm not going to show you the whole video because of course I want you to make it a surprise. I want you to be interested in watching it during our video call, and I want you to practice the song. I want you to feel comfortable. I want you to relax and enjoy the class of today. Okay? That's why we say here, welcome my dear students. Let's start this day singing. I love you all. Okay? Great. Well, what is the objective of today's class? We've got an objective. And the objective of today is to express himself or herself different communicative situations according to taking care of environment using correct fluency and intonation skills. Okay, so but can you translate? Can you say the same but in some other words so I can understand much better? It's pretty simple. What you have to do is at the end of the class, you're going to be able to express situations by giving instructions focused on the environmental care with a correct intonation and fluency. And so today the class is just by giving instructions, but let's going to take a little review. Let's going to go backwards a little bit and let's going to talk just a little bit once again, okay, of our best friends, the future tenses. Great. We're going to use one of our friends. Here we've got our resorts. You know that we've got a resorts and it's Jamboard, okay? And the title of today is just future tense and giving instructions. That's going to make it quick, okay? Very quick because it's just a reminder. This is just a reminder about the future tenses, okay? Because remember, every class we're just going to be adding up. We're going to be just adding up one future tense in order to reinforce what you have already been taught. Remember that, okay? Great. So you've got this picture. And in this picture, we've got a crystal ball. Oh God, what is a crystal ball here? What does a crystal ball make here? Okay, the crystal ball is about the future cards. You know that if you maybe you know about tarot and you saw the cards, you know these esoterical things. And if you've got a future, a crystal ball, of course, you are able to see the future. And in this picture, we've got the future divided into many different aspects. We've got will, we've got be going to, we've got the present simple, and we've got the present continuous. Remember that we have studied that previously. And in our first video, we studied the future tenses. But also, we have taken a look for a new future tense which is called the future continuous. Of course, the future continuous is not just implied in this picture, but you must know that there are more future tenses, okay? So we've got here the present simple, the present continuous, going to and will. So this is a very short review about the topic that we did the last class, okay? You know that it's important always, it's important to have a feedback. And what is a feedback? A feedback is just to go backwards and know if you understood, if you got the class, if you really made it worth. Okay, here you've got another picture. We'll going to present continuous and present simple. Well, we have already covered this topic, but let's going to make it quick, very quick. Will, predictions and forecast, spontaneous decisions and promise. We're going to intentions, previously made decisions, something that it's likely to happen. Okay, present continuous, remember arrangements and planned intentions, but these intentions are planned have been already arranged. So I mean they're going to happen. Okay? And present simple with timetables, schedules, and repeated events. Remember that present simple worked also as a future aspect, as a future tense. So we've got here the timetable, the schedules, and repeated events. Okay, if you can handle this topic, this chart, believe me, future tenses are going to be piece of cake for you. Okay, so this is just a quick reminder for you. Well, let's go to move on, and this is the new topic of today: how to give instructions. So, how to give instruction, but how? Well, every day, you, me, your friends, your parents, also everybody give instructions because we've got duties to perform. We've got things to do. We have a lot of stuff to do. I mean, whether at home, whether at school, at the university, wherever you are, but you have to give instructions sometimes in order to develop activities. And today, I am going to teach you how to give the instructions, but clearly, efficiently, and the most important, politely. Because if you give instructions, but in a very polite way, people are going to do what you want from them exactly. But if you just give them in an impolite way, believe me, it's not just that I don't order you, come on, do it. No, we have to be very polite at that moment of giving instructions. As you see, here you've got two students. Here you've got a little girl. She's playing with her card. And how to give instruction, we've got here some steps and steps. Okay, so let's go to get into the class. I hope you like it. Well, this is for our book, and it says giving instructions, reminding, and responding to instructions. Okay, when you want to give an instructions, you can use some expressions. You can use some sentences as well. And these sentences, these phrases, these expressions are going to help you to be clear, at the moment of giving these instructions. For example, you can say first, firstly, second, secondly, wash the glasses, then put ice in the glasses. Make sure they have a menu. Be sure to smile. After a few minutes, after that, next, the last thing you need to do is finally, always, never put your note down. Try to, try not to. You need to. It's important to. Okay, when you give instruction, remember that you've got plenty of expressions in order to be polite. Okay, as I said before, if you are polite, your instructions are going to be accomplished clearly and rapidly, and people are going to love you because, of course, you're just being polite. You're just not demanding something. Okay, great. Now we've got reminding. Reminded things that please don't forget to do something, don't forget activities that I mentioned before. That's why we call it reminded. For example, we've got, don't forget to give them some water. Please, the babies are crying. Don't forget to give them some water because they are thirsty. Oh my God, they are thirsty. Please don't forget to give them some water because I remind you to give them water. Remember to write it down. Remember to write it down. So, as I said once again, I'm just reminding you not to forget some activities. Okay, so we've got giving instructions, we've got reminders, and also we've got responding to instructions. When you give an instruction, you expect people to respond to your instructions. For example, I say, hey, make sure they have a menu at that restaurant, but you have to respond to my instruction. Okay, so you can respond in many ways. For example, you can say, that seems easy. Of course. Okay. Sure. No worries. No problem. Then what? Then what do I do? I remembered it all. I hope I remember it all. Okay? These are just some ways of responding into instructions. Okay, this does not mean that they are all the expressions or all the responses. You've got plenty of them. You can use them at any time. This is just an example of how you can give instructions, remind instructions, and also responding to those instructions. Okay, let's going to move on with some examples, and you're going to get it easily. Come on, let's going to move on. Here in the next picture, we've got a teacher, and he's going to give some instruction to the students, and he says, ask me what you want to know about the topic written on the board. Ask me, ask me what you want to know about the topic written on the board. One student responds, how can we give good instructions? How can we avoid giving bad instructions? Those are very intelligent questions. How can we give good instructions? How? And the other girl says, how can we avoid? How can we avoid giving bad instructions? Actually, the two questions are just the same, but written and said in different ways. How can we give good instructions? How can we avoid bad? How can we avoid giving bad instructions? And here in the second picture, the teacher says, those are good questions. I'll start with some tips for giving good instructions. And here is what I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you tips. I'm going to give you advices, pieces of advices in order to give good instructions for any activity that you need to perform. Okay, let's go to move on. And the teacher thinks and says, I think it's important that you give good instructions and you need to be clear. That's one advice, one tip. You need to be clear. So there are no problems with comprehension and students can do a good job. So for example, imagine that we are just having an exam and I have to give you the instructions correctly. Of course, I have to be clear because if I'm not clear, you're not going to comprehend and you're not going to do a good job. And you could probably fail the exam, could you? Okay, so in order to start giving good instructions, the first thing that we must do is to be clear. Okay, please remember that it's very important to be clear. Okay, let's going to continue. Okay, number one. Well, this is a teacher. Okay, I think she is at a theater or a coliseum, something like that. Okay, the instructions must be as simple as possible. The instructions must be as simple as possible. Okay, so don't try to come up with new words. Don't try to come up with new or difficult expressions that maybe the students are not going to be able to understand. Just be very simple. Focus on the topic. Focus on the very basic instruction. Two, check if the students understood what they were requested to do. So I have to check my students if they understood my instructions clearly. Okay, I want to be completely sure if my students understood what they were requested to do. Okay, let's go to focus on this because this is very important. So the teacher must monitor. Okay, did you do this? Okay, you did a great job. Okay, so for example, my first instruction is please close your books. So I want to take a look. I want to take a look at the classroom and see if my students have already closed the books. But maybe there's one student who didn't close the book and it's still open. So I want to go there. I have to go there and say, hey, come on, please, can you close your books, please, if you don't mind. But remember, I have to be polite. I'm not going to say, hey, come on, close your book. No. Excuse me, man. Excuse me, young man. Excuse me, student. Could you close? Could you close your book, please? But remember, being polite. Three, gestures, mimes, actions are useful when explaining. So the teacher also must use the hands, the face, and any tool, as many tools as a teacher could have in that moment to give the instructions easily. Okay? Remember these points. Instructions must be clear and simple. Students must understand the instructions, and the teacher must use gestures, mimes, actions, everything as possible. Okay? Any kind of resource that he's got in that moment. Great? Okay, I think it's very simple, but you have to understand how to give instructions correctly. In this chart, we've got well, of course, says in some occasions I've had different experiences with professors that don't give clear instructions, and that leads to uncomfortable moments. It's due to the lack of confidence from the teacher when giving instructions. However, I consider that all the teachers need to be aware of when they can joke and when they need to put their foot down to give instructions. Simple actions like asking for the student's attention, waiting until everyone is quiet, saying the instruction with only a few words, and so on. Those are aspects that need to be reviewed by the professor if he/she wants to be respected by the entire class. So, me as a teacher, of course, I have to be polite because I want my students to respect me, and of course I respect my students. That's why I have to be clear when there are times there is a moment when the teacher might joke with the students. Also, we can tell jokes, we can games, we can I don't know. We can do many activities actually. Okay, but there are times where the teacher have to be strict and also have to be polite, but have to give instructions because we have to start the class. We need to develop an activity. We have to reinforce one topic that we did the last month, the last class, anything. Okay, and those are aspects that the teacher need to review if he wants to be respected by the entire classroom. Okay, good. And here you've got hints for giving clear instructions as well. Okay, I suggest please, because you're going to have this resource Jamboard as always, because I always share with all the secondary fourth, and take a look at this. Take a look at it because you've got many hints so you can use in the class. Okay, if you want to give a clear instructions, speak clearly and use clear and simple language. I said it before. Don't come up with unscrambled expressions. Don't come up with difficult English. Be clear, go to the point, and simple language. That's all. Be polite, and don't make people feel stupid if they don't understand. For example, if I give you instructions, okay, you got it. You understood completely, but maybe your friend, your classmate, didn't understand the instructions. So, but I'm not going to make him feel stupid or silly. I go, I go to his place, and I clear the air once again and explain. I give them the instruction once again. Okay, so the class of today is of course just giving instructions, reminding and answering and responding to instructions. But how? How can we do that? Remember that picture with those little cats just asking questions? Okay, this is how we can do it. Don't get frustrated if the other person doesn't understand, but rephrase instructions. Okay? Don't get frustrated if your friend does not understand clearly the instructions. Don't feel frustrated because the teacher is going to rephrase instructions. Okay? Good. Sound encouraging. Sound encouraging. That means that when you listen to the teacher, you're going to feel secure. You're going to be, oh, great, I understand. I trust the teacher. Because the teacher speaks clearly, and I think I'm not having problems at all because I can understand the instructions. Okay? Ask the person to repeat the instructions back to you. Sir, excuse me, I didn't understand. Can you repeat? Can you repeat once again? Would you be so kind? Would you be too kind and repeat the instructions, please, one more time? Of course, but be polite. Remember that, okay? Very good. And here we've got an example of which I liked. I liked a lot. I really love this example, okay? We've got a miss, a teacher, and we've got two students. Oh, actually, this is very funny. If you understand the situation, if you understand the context, oh, you're going to love this example. And it says, okay, the name of the little boy is Garth. And she says, Garth, you've only written 4 words in your journal. You've only written 4 words in your journal. And he responds, yeah, but I filled into pages. Did you understand? Did you get the idea? Okay, look at the Garth's notebook. Look at the Garth's notebook, and he has written only 4 words. Okay, only 4 words. I am going to point it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And he says, today really is sunny. Today is really sunny. So he has written only 4 words. And the miss says, you've only written 4 words in your journal. So what is the problem here? What happened here? You're right. You are completely right. The miss didn't give him the right instructions, or maybe she didn't make herself understood correctly. Maybe she wanted him to write a several essay or use more words, but he, the little boy, understood the other way. So the miss was not clear. And sometimes in the next pictures, students are judged because of the lack, because of the teacher's fault. Okay, so this example represents exactly how you must give clear instructions, and you have to go directly to the point. Don't come up with scrambled, difficult expressions, difficult instructions. Be so simple. Be basic. Because if not, students or maybe general people are not going to understand what you want from them. Okay? But I love this picture. That's why I chose it for you. Okay, move on. If instructions are not effectively and clearly formulated, there will be a number of students who will simply not have assimilated what is to be done or have only caught part of the information. That is really sure. Being clear with your instructions and expectations will reduce the possibility of ongoing distractions and interruptions. Of course, if you give instructions clearly and effectively, your students and also you as because you are a student are not going to have the possibility of ongoing distractions like oh my god what no because you've got instructions and you know what to do and you're not going to interrupt the teacher because you know what to do and the instructions work very clear, okay, very clear. So you're not going to or you will not reduce you will not be unkind like oh mm, 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 oh my god what do I have to do, okay, but in that case because you were given their instructions correctly and directly, so there is no possibility of ongoing distractions and interruptions. And you know why? Because the teacher gave you the right and precise instructions. Before giving instructions, before giving instructions, me as a teacher, also you are going to become, maybe you become teacher, you will become teachers in the future. I don't know. I hope you do. Okay, I hope you will. Okay, but teacher must ask themselves some questions. For example, what is the correct or what is the important information I am trying to convey? What must the students know if they are to complete this activity successfully? What information do students need first? Which should come next? Okay, I give you the instructions, okay, but then which should come next? Which should come next? What materials the students need to do the tasks? Okay, I give you the instructions. Okay, then which should come next? And then what materials are you going to use in order to perform, in order to develop that activity? Are they going to work individually, in pairs, or in groups? So these are very clear instructions and very important instructions as well. And finally, I save it for the last. I save it for the end because this this picture explains the whole class of today. Okay, if you understand because you are such intelligent student and I know you are, you're going to understand very quickly. It says an essentially simple activity can become impossible not because the students couldn't do it, but because they didn't understand what to do. Often, students are judged to have failed when it is actually the teacher who failed to clarify what was required. Yes, students are always judged to have failed when it's actually the teacher who failed to clarify what was required. So if you don't give me the correct and basic and clear instructions, I cannot or I am not be able to respond you correctly and you're not going to get what you want from me. Okay, so this is the class of today. Today you learn how to give clear, basic and direct instructions but being polite. Remember that, okay? So let's go backwards to our activities of today. And you've got videos, of course. I have left you videos. Okay, here you've got a lot of videos which you can watch afterwards in order to reinforce what I have already taught you. Okay, for example, we've got giving instructions in the classroom. Okay, a teacher gives clear instructions in the classroom to their students. And also we've got here giving clear directions management, okay, with the students of course. And here you've got classroom management for teaching English, tips for giving instructions. So the topic of today is very general because remember, English or any language is not just grammar. It's how to produce language, how to speak the language correctly and also in a polite way. Well, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I hope you got. I hope you got it. I hope you understood completely my class. I hope you like it. And as I always said, if you've got any problem, if you feel comfortable, just give me a call. Just send me a WhatsApp, and I will help you always. Okay? Because that's what I'm here for. Thank you very much, and I hope you like it. Try to produce the language. Try to practice the language. Try to speak English every day, and try to also watch videos, play songs, sing songs, and well, see you the next day. And I hope you did a great job today with me. Thank you very much. Goodbye, and you are the best. Thank you.